So, so doesn't seem like the left is mad at Harry Potter anymore, or rather, J.K. Well, they're still mad at her, but these were people who were getting their Harry Potter tattoos taken off, and as I was saying before, one of the cats knocked a little bowl thing off the counter. Yeah, they were throwing away their Harry Potter merchandise and burning their books and getting their Harry Potter tattoos removed. But here we are. And someone has made a fan fiction, and Harry Potter Romantasy fan fiction porn gets multi-million-dollar Hollywood deal because the left is doing what the left does best, taking something and sexualizing it. So, the final story, the Deathly Hallows, the war ends, and the kids are what? 16, 17 years old? But that's where this story picks up from. Harry Potter is dead! In the aftermath of the war, in order to strengthen the might of the magical world, this is the first one that kind of started all of this. To strengthen the might of the magical world, Voldemort enacts a repopulation effort. Hermione Granger has an order secret, lost but hidden in her mind, so she is sent as an enslaved surrogate to the High Reeve until her mind can be cracked. Warning, this work is dark. Rape and non-consensual sex. Harry Potter's dead, aftermath of the war, so these people who are most likely 16, 17 years old, the left doing what they do best, sexualizing things. Rape and non-consensual sex are a significant and ongoing aspect of the plot, because of course they are. There are also deep character deaths, psychological trauma, descriptions of battlefield violence, and reference to torture. The story diverges from canon following the conclusion of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. How old were they in Harry Potter and Order of the Phoenix? Because you had Order of the Phoenix, and then you had Half-Blood Prince, and then Deathly Hallows. So how old were they? Weird. The publishing industry has found its next cash cow in sexually explicit Harry Potter fanfiction with Alchemized. We're just going to call it 50 Shades of Potter. Securing a 7-figure movie deal from Legendary Entertainment. The novel, which began as an online fanfiction, featuring sexual content between Harry Potter characters, represents a complete degradation of women's literacy consumption. I mean, you guys remember going to the stores back in the day, and you have you're waiting there and checkout, whether it be a grocery store or whatever, and you had those crappy novels, those little little novels that right there by checkout, because you're standing in line and it gives the women something to oogle at. Yeah, it's like those, but a million times worse. People don't even understand why individuals like women found 50 Shades of Grey. It's these are the same people who are oh my god, stop sexualizing women and objectifying. And then you have this whole book, which is basically that. And they're oh god, this makes me cream my panties so fucking hard. It's make up your mind. Make up your mind. Do you want women to be sexualized or do you not? Because you're saying you don't, but then you're reading a book where a woman is objectified. So, what do you want, women? What the fuck do you want? The novel, which began as online, we showed, Alchemized, or 50 Shades of Potter, follows the same disturbing pattern established by 50 Shades of Grey, which started as an explicit Twilight fan fiction before becoming a publishing phenomenon. Hollywood and publishers discovered they could repackage pornographic fan fiction as romance novels and sell millions of copies to women hungry for increasingly depraved content. You know, which is kind of weird because don't they have this thing about rape culture, but then they read books that basically engage with that rape culture. But then men are somehow the issue. Make it make sense. Also, I tried watching 50 Shades of Grey. It was so fucking boring. I guess I'm not into that kind of stuff, but everyone's like, oh my god, it's such a good movie. It's like Titanic. You know, the cast of Titanic is great. I mean, Billy Zane, perfect villain. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, and it's such a great cast. I really don't like the movie. I really don't like the movie. I mean, I like the memes that came from it, like with the Titanic's going down and what was like the band, the little people playing. It's like, you know, it's been an honor to play with you tonight or whatever, and it's basically become a meme. Yeah, I mean, I like that, but the business model is simple: take existing beloved characters, strip away everything that made them appealing, and insert graphic sexual scenarios that would. Hold on. Hello, little spider. Yeah, take that little one outside. Or not. I tried to scoop him up into there, and then... I mean, because it's pretty solid seal right there. But, yeah, I tried to... And then when I lifted, I tried to get it, and then when I lifted like that, he just went straight down. So, I'll have to wait till he's on the ground, or... climbing back on the wall, but... I don't mind the smaller ones, but they don't need to be in the house. Like orb weavers. Over at the country house. When you look out June's window, right there on the bottom panel, the window pane, there's like an orb weaver about that big on the outside. Orb weavers, they just, you know, they catch the things you don't like. You know, perfectly harmless. And I feel bad for it because it's only got 7 legs instead of 8. So... what were we? Their graphic. Okay, hang on. I'm actually curious. How old were the kids in Order of the Phoenix? Let me look that up real fast. 15 years old. 15 years old. And they made a 50 Shades of Grey type story about a bunch of 15-year-olds. I mean, because that's what they said here. The story diverges from canon following the conclusion of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Got scenarios that would make a sailor blush. No, I don't think a sailor would be reading that shit. Now, if there was a lot of swearing, that would make a sailor blush. I mean, I swear so fucking much that I'd make a sailor blush, but publishers then market this literary sewage as empowering female fantasy while counting the profits. This trend reflects this crisis in women's reading habits documented by Evie Magazine's analysis of the monster smut phenomenon. As Evie noted, women are conditioning their brains and bodies to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery, or sexual violence. But then they sit there saying, stop objectifying them and treating like they're just, well, you guys are doing it to yourselves. These people who do OnlyFans and write shit like this and read shit like this, you don't have any room left to say anything. You're reading books and getting off to this whole rape fantasy. But then when a dude looks at you, you're like, can you not objectify me? Do you want to be objectified or not? Do you want the male gaze or do you not? Do you want that attention or do you not? You can't keep crossing the fucking signals here. The magazine identified the core problem. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination centers around abuse, monstrous violence, and submission to non human entities, your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. Alchemized represents another step in the psychological conditioning. Women who grew up loving Harry Potter as children now consume pornographic versions of those same characters as adults. Again, if these characters were older, but this is taking place after, like, during Order of the Phoenix or shortly after, so they're 15. I don't know. Kind of sounds like some Stephen, uh, Stephen King bullshit right there, making underage kids have orgies and shit. Yes, that happened in It. If you go back and read the book, yeah, I think it was Beverly's idea that, oh, let's all have fucking sex together to form a strong bond. So she gets fucking plowed by all the boys. But it was for bonding purposes. But then the left likes to call the fucking right weird. Like, you guys are writing about fucking children orgies. I don't think you have a leg to stand on here. Built our audience, our archive of our own. Fanfiction platform notorious for hosting the most extreme and sexual content imaginable. Legendary Entertainment's decision to adapt this material and pay the author upwards of $3 million for the property shows Hollywood's complete abandonment of artistic standard in favor of guaranteed profits. Also, here is the website, the person who wrote it. Now, classical liberal arts. She lives in Portland, and most people go out of their way to make sure you know she's non-binary. As if, I mean, they probably do that to make you, oh my god, non-binary, I'm gonna support her. The romantasy genre has become a euphemism for pornography marketed to women. Publishers discovered they could slap fantasy elements onto explicit sexual content and call it literature, while readers pretend they're consuming something more sophisticated than written porn. That's like trying to take hardcore porn and slapping a freaking plot line into it. It doesn't work. But sometimes you're it's like, you know what? They tried. It's like the parodies. You see like these TMNT parodies, or these porns. You're sitting there, you're like, I don't know, the plot, it's actually pretty good. This represents the logical endpoint of the cultural shift that began with 50 Shades of Grey. The trilogy normalized abusive relationship and BDSM practices for mainstream female audiences, which there's nothing wrong with those kinds of relationships and stuff like that. If that's your kink, whatever. But, paving the way for increasingly extreme content to gain acceptance. The success of Alchemized proves women's literature's taste has been completely corrupted by pornographic conditioning. Instead of seeking stories that inspire, educate, and genuinely entertain, female readers now demand content that feeds their artificially manufactured sexual fantasies. Publishers and Hollywood executives celebrate this trend because it generates massive profit with minimal creative investment. Why develop original stories when you can repackage existing intellectual properties with explicit sexual content and guarantee sales? Especially like Harry Potter. Again, they're taking it, or I don't know about the new book, but this fan fiction, they're 15 years old. Unlike 50 Shades of Grey, that was like, they're legal, consenting adults. And I get it, it's a fan fiction. But, they hype up and celebrate this stuff. But then if someone comes out and writes a story about God or finding religion, that person gets mocked and ridiculed. And they call the right the weird ones. You're writing a fan fiction about Harry Potter kids when they're 15. Escapism and fantasy, but they're actually participating in their own psychological manipulation. Each purchase validates the industry's decision to prioritize pornographic content over genuine storytelling. And it's a lot right down here. Like it's over 1,000 pages, so I might just read some of it. But you know, but yeah, this. They're 15. They're 15, and the left wants to sit there and say how weird the right is, but they take everything they do, like they just take whatever they can and just sexualize it, whether it be Harry Potter, or you'll see stuff like with cartoons that are for kids, whatever they can. They just fucking sexualize it. They slap their freaking gender ideological bullshit onto them. Like, oh my god, this person's so trans. Oh my god, this character is a gay icon. No, they're not. This is a character for 5-year-olds. Why are you slapping your ideological bullshit onto a character meant for a 5-year-old? Weird, weird. Also, hello, Mr. Spider. Where'd you go to? I want to take you outside before you get crushed. Because I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", and I might accidentally step on you. I don't mean to. I don't mean to. As long as the spiders, I mean, not like the other. What was it? 2 weeks ago, went outside. I opened the door, and my hand was like right there. I turned around, and there was a wolf spider, maybe about that big, on the fucking wall. So I found like a little rake or something that's hanging up in there, and I opened the door and I kind of scooped it up on the rake. I kind of smacked it to the ground, scooped it up, and I mean, I'm not really great with handling spiders. One, because my hands are shaky and I don't want them to act like, think that I'm a danger. Also, because my hands just clench out of nowhere, especially like with jumping spiders. They're so small. I don't want to try to hold one and accidentally do that or something. So I just knocked it down and scooped it up with like the end of the rake, and it just sat there kind of like on the the pronged parts of the little rake, and I just outside like, there you go, little one. But it was a big fucking wolf spider. I'm like, I didn't even know we had those around here. That was the first time I saw something. I was like, Aragog? Hagrid, is that you? Yes. Hello, Aragog. But yeah, I get the whole fantasy romance thing, but you're taking a story based on 15-year-olds, at least this one, and and you're making it sexualized about rape fantasy, and it's fucking weird. And then we're getting a freaking movie from it, apparently. If they don't name it 50 Shades of Potter or One Night at Hogwarts or something, I'm gonna be extremely disappointed. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to probably read this. I'm not going to look at it beforehand. That's normally what I do with stories. I look at it beforehand. I want to be surprised by everything going in. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.